with you?
You and Harry went to Europe.
I went to Europe with George, too.
Well, I'm Herbert.
We've never been to Europe.
Singly, not together.
I think we have. You've just forgotten.
I've got a perfectly good memory.
You can't even remember my name. You and I were in Venice together. You're ashamed to admit it because of the scandalous good time we had. Oh, you love me then.
I didn't love you when you were in Venice having a scandalous good time with whichever one it was, George or Harry. Which was it?
It was you.
I've never been to Venice in my life.
Oh, yesterday you said you'd never been to Chicago either. And I proved you wrong on that. Your second daughter by your first wife died there, and we went to the funeral.
Grace?
The daughter's name?
No, Grace's girl.
Grace wasn't your first wife, Mary was.
Were you there? I tell you, one was enough. Two was more than plenty. I don't know what got into me to try the third time.
You were sick and too tight to hire a nurse. Oh, you married her.
I got well. Why didn't I kick you out? Oh, don't cry. No, I don't mean it. You're always crying all the time. Cried buckets at our son's wedding, took on something awful.
We didn't have any children together. And I don't cry. I was Mary, I'm Muriel.
Well, no wonder I'm confused, which I'm not. You all the time saying Grace, Mary, Muriel.
I'm just trying to straighten you out.
What difference does it make? I answer when you call me Bernie.
I never called you Bernie. I maybe once or twice called you Harry when I woke up sudden like and I was confused and I didn't know where I was. But I never even knew a Bernie.
Bernie.
Never heard of him.
Oh, he'd be pleased to hear that.
Who was he?
You were carrying on with him when I met you.
I was married to Harry when you met me.
Yeah, and carrying on with Bernie. He cleared out.
That must have been Grace.
You were carrying on with him?
No, Grace must have been carrying on with her.
Grace wasn't married before. I was her first.
Not married, carrying on.
She was married to Harry and carrying on with Bernie.
You said she wasn't married before.
You were! You were!
What day of the week is it?
What's that got to do with it?
Can't remember anything anymore. Senile old man. Bernie Walters.
That's him.
Who?
Bernie Walters.
Never heard of him.
You just said his name.
Well, you've been saying it for an hour. I just repeated it.
And you said Bernie Walters.
I said I never heard of him. Besides, I wasn't married to Harry when I met Harry when I met you. I wasn't married to Harry. If I'd have been married to Harry, I'd have never looked at you. Fine, strapping man, may he rest in peace. Ooh, what he did in Venice.
Say it was Harry in Venice.
Of course it was Harry in Venice.
You said it was me.
You? You wouldn't have it in you to do a thing like that.
What? Thing like what?
Oh, don't be jealous of a dead man. I've done my best to forgetting George like I promised when I met him.
I'm Herbert.
You keep reminding yourself so you won't forget who you are.
You called me George just now.
A hearing ain't the cheap thing.
Oh, see, you're crazy. Go ahead. Wouldn't call you Grace. Grace is soft and gentle and kind.
Why'd you leave her then?
I didn't. She died.
Mary died. Your first wife. You got sick of Grace and left her and married me.
Left Grace for you. All wrong. Grace was my darling.
She drove you crazy.
My first love.
Mary?
Now, Mary drove me crazy.
She was your first love. You told me about it often enough. Oh, sure, you young colts prancing around in the nude.
Mary?
Yes.
I never saw Mary naked. That was her trouble.
That was Grace.
No, Grace, I saw naked. Ooh, how naked. There was never anyone nakeder.
You can only be naked. You can't be more or less naked.
You didn't know Grace.
Mary, I did know Grace.
Naked?
You keep a civil tongue in your head.
Never saw you naked.
Oh, no, and not likely to either. What would be the point? You couldn't do anything about it.
It's what you think.
Oh? Well, you married me at 70. You were all through then. Except for dreaming.
You're lying. We had some good goes together down by the beach.
You and I were never near a beach. You were never near me, that way.
Old women forget the joys of the flesh. Why is that?
I don't forget Bernie. Bernie Walters.
Never heard of her.
My second husband. I was married to him when Harry came along, and then Harry went away and you came along a long time after. Platonic marriage, that's what we had, you and I, George, but it's all right.
Platonic, down under the willow tree that June.
What willow tree?
Oh, I've been good to you, Mary, for all your carpentry falling off in the old days. Because I remember that willow tree. Muriel never knew about it. We were wicked.
If I thought you knew what you were talking about, I'd get mad. You're just babbling, burning. Herbert used to say, how can you listen to him babble?
I'm Herbert.
It makes you feel more secure. Go, keep your mind to yourself.
You called me Bernie.
Oh, sure. Sure, and you've never been to Chicago either, I suppose.
I have so. I went there when my daughter died.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you admit it.
Well, why shouldn't I admit it? It's so. You just try to confuse me, don't you? This Bernie, Harry, George, Grace, Mary.
Oh, you started a long time ago, Lovey. Slipping. Only then, you were more honest about it. It was very touching. When we went to Florida, you gave me the tickets, and you said, Grace, hold on to the tickets. My mind is slipping.
Your name's Muriel.
That's right. My name's Muriel.
You referred to yourself as Grace.
Very likely. Very likely.
You said I gave you tickets to Florida and said, Grace, my mind is slipping.
Well, it was.
I've never been to Florida.
Well, let's not go into it. The Pongee suit.
I never owned a Pongee suit.
You said it was the same suit you wore when you married Helen. And we had a long discussion. And you were wearing the same suit to run away with me.
Who's Helen?
You were married to her, silly.
I was running away to Florida with you, and I was so old my mind was slipping, and I couldn't remember the tickets.
Oh, Lovey, you're running a lot of things that happened at different times all together now. Why don't you just sit back and relax, Harry, till you get straightened out? Harry.
My name is Herbert.
That's right. You're Herbert, and I'm Grace.
You're Muriel.
Yes, that's right. Now let's leave it at that, or you won't sleep tonight.
Always sleep.
A fortune in sleeping pills.
I never had one in my life.
Oh, and you've never been to Chicago either, I suppose.
Then why should I go to Chicago?
Only because our daughter died there and we went to the funeral.
We had no children.
I don't think we should talk anymore now. You're getting confused.
You never looked me near your lily white body.
Oh. What about that afternoon under the willows? I think that's when we conceived Ralph.
Who's Ralph?
Ralph is your stepson. Good boy.
I conceived my stepson.
I prefer if we didn't talk anymore. You can follow a train of thought for more than a minute. And it's really tiring just jumping back and forth with you. Now just close your eyes and rest. Are your eyes hurting you?
No.
That medicine must be very good then.
What medicine?
You see, that's what I mean.
I never had any medicine for my eyes.
Yes, all right, George.
I'm Harry.
That's right. Now let's just hold hands here. Doze a little and think of happier days.
Venice.
Yes, wasn't that lovely? You were so gallant. It's slightly shocking.
The beach.
The willow tree.
And you running around naked. Oh, lovely, lovely.